Ontario Craft Beer Week is in its fourth year, bringing together brewers from across the province for events celebrating the brew. Michael Hainsworth headed down to the Metropolis Living Factory, where a Mill Street Brewery helped put on the Strangebrew Festival. Now, we're not talking about the Bob and Doug Mackenzie type of Strangebrew. Michael asks Steve Abrams, co-founder of Mill Street Brewery and co-chair of Ontario Craft Beer Week, how the festival has grown over the years.
It's gotten very hectic. Now I believe we have over 50 members in the OCB. So there's a lot of events going all over Ontario. So yeah, this is the culmination. This is Strangebrew. This is something we're participating in now and inviting other breweries to get involved in as well. So there's no limit of stuff going on.
A massive increase in craft beer sales in Ontario over the last year, up 33%.
It's huge.
How does that happen? What happened?
Well, people want flavor in their beer. I mean, that's what it's all about. People are discovering that there's more to life than bland, fizzy liquid. And they also, thank you to the LCBO for allowing all these new brewers to come in there and put their beer on the shelves, and they've been very supportive.
So the LCBO, Liquor Control Board of Ontario,
yes.
Ontario very regulated about where you can buy beer. Other places, not so much. Is this regulation good for you, or does it hold you back?
I can tell you from my experience, when we started Mill Street, it was the LCBO that specifically looked to us and said, we want an organic beer in Ontario. It didn't exist before. So I'm very loyal to the LCBO just because of that. And you know, they've been very good to us, very supportive of craft beer, and they've been very accommodating to all the newer brewers who are coming on board.
What's the scenario that led the LCBO to say, listen, we need to have more competition? I sort of feel like we're having a wireless telecommunications conversation.
Yeah. Well, they certainly are expanding their stores, so you're going to see more of that. They have listened to consumers, and they're expanding their store base. So I think there's going to be more choice for consumers, I think, in the end of the day. They've certainly heard that people want to have more selection, and this is their reaction, I think.
What about the big guys in the space? You know, back to that telecommunications-like sort of thing, you know, the incumbents within the beer industry, they've got craft beers themselves now. I take it you don't agree they're craft.
Well, they've certainly watched what we're up to, and if you look in the United States, it's been entrenched there for a long time. There's a lot of large breweries that own what I'd call like minor league teams almost in craft brewing. So it's something that has been around in the US for about 15 years, so you're starting to see it more and more in Canada. I'd also say they're very, very successful craft brewers who have gotten very, very large. If you look at breweries like Sam Adams or Sierra Nevada, those are significant large breweries, and they still are considered craft brewers. So,
well, you mentioned Sam Adams. That's 16% of that craft beer market.
Yes.
How do you get to that level? Do you take a page from the Sam Adams playbook, and if you did, what page would it be?
Well, we started off, we were a big fan of Sam Adams, and not only the beer, but their model. Their business model originally was they didn't have any breweries. It's fascinating, actually. They contract brewed everything until they got to the point where there was issues with just getting supply, and it was also quality control issues. So they built their first brewery, and now they have a few. We thought that was a model we could go with, but we quickly learned that you have to control your destiny. So we make the capital investment in expanding our own facility. So we hire more people, and in the end, we're very happy because we can control it more. So you'll see new brewers opening who are actually contracted name only.
Where do you go from here?
Well, we certainly have expanded across Canada. But we hope to be in Quebec very soon, so we're working on that.
When you work on getting into Quebec, what do you work on? What needs to be done?
Well, there's language issues. I do not speak French. Packaging. You have to, I mean, it's almost like a lottery system now with the SAQ. So they tender out once in a while, and they'll look for specifically non-Quebec beers. So I believe that's in the process right now.
So considering, you know, the markets last week took a huge tumble.
Yes.
A real rough time. Can you look at beer sales as a leading economic indicator or a lagging one? Do people buy before things get bad, or do they buy after things get good?
Oh, they always seem to buy, they say it's recession-proof, so no matter what, people are drinking beer. We always find it's more weather dependent. That's the big one. When it's a rainy week, boy, you see sales drop. We saw sales plummet across the board, I think almost 20% in the first quarter of 2013, and that was all part of the weather. So regardless of what's going on in the stock market, people just don't drink when it's miserable out.
So if you can email your beer, you guys would be laughing.
Yes, absolutely, we'd be laughing. But you can't. You gotta, you know, we're a brick and mortar. You know, with all the technology. You go in here tonight, there's someone who can pour beer using brain power. I mean, we were fusing technology with beer, but at the end of the day, it's still beer, right? So, yeah, you can email all you want, but at the end of the day, you still got to drink a good craft beer.
That was Michael Hainsworth with Steve Abrams, co-founder of Mill Street Brewery and co-chair of the Ontario Craft Beer Week.